Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the keys to AWS Optimization, where today we are going to be looking at the new AWS FinOps agent. Yes, FinOps has joined those frontier agents from AWS, and I have Jason with me today to dive into what is this new agent, what it can do, and we're going to be doing very demo heavy sessions. Make sure you stick around all the way through to see all of the amazing capabilities of this tool. So welcome to the show, everyone. The show we share stories, concepts, and solutions to help you unlock your AWS spend. My name is Steph Gooch. I'm a senior SA advocate at AWS, here to help you on your FinOps journey. And what I need everyone watching to do is drop comments in throughout watching live or on demand. Drop them below and we'll make sure to catch up. But Jason, why don't you give everyone your 1-minute origin story just to introduce yourself to the folks watching?
Hey everyone, this is Jason, product manager for AI for FinOps product portfolios, including this exciting product we just launched last week, AWS FinOps Agent.
Woo, amazing. And am I right in telling folks that you've actually watched this show in the past, right? You've seen past episodes and learned some stuff from it before you start working at AWS, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
I love that. People are joining from all over. I've got so many people. We've got people from San Diego. Someone's just said Jason. Love it. I feel like they're saying hey. So welcome everyone to the session. Before we start, I just wanted to drop in a little bit about the FinOps X. We're in the merch from it from last week. Thank you for everyone who came up, said hi, who came to sessions, who helped get me swag. I've got obviously a brand new fox to add to my collection. I got a cool little dragon from Adaptive 6. And up there, I've got a Women in FinOps sign, which I got from a lovely FinOut event. Also, if anyone's Women in FinOps in London, there is a Women in FinOps event, so make sure you check that out. Hello from Canada, from Brazil, from VA. Where's VA? Tell me more. And San Diego. Love to see it. But let's get into the actual content of today's session. Jason, why don't you explain to everyone what is the new FinOps agent?
Yeah, sure. So the FinOps stands for short for financial operation. It brings the finance and engineers together to maximize the business values of their cloud investment. The engineer team often owns the resources. They provision the EC2 instance, they build a new ETL pipelines based on the cloud, and often the finance team holds the budget and accountable for the cost and making purchase decisions such as savings plan, reserve instances. So FinOps is a shared practice that connects the two different personas through cost visibilities, cost anomaly detections, optimizations, and making sure the right people are accountable for the resources they own. So for the FinOps to maximize the business value of the cloud investment and run efficiently in their corporate environment, three elements usually need to be true. The FinOps needs to be continuous. So you operate at the cadence of change, not the cadence of meetings. It has to be autonomous. When the anomaly is investigated and identified, it's routed to the findings to the correct teams, and without waiting for the humans to start the work next day. And it has to be effortless. All the necessary data covering every account, every workload, and every team needs to be in one place. And so this will help the team to make better decisions and take actions. So those three elements need to be true, but it's often hard to achieve with a small FinOps team and hard to deliver effectively when the people have to use multiple tools at the same time. So last week at FinOps X, we were very excited to announce AWS FinOps Agent in preview. So this is the agentic AI solution that is always on to answer your questions continuously. It can investigate cost anomalies when the events triggers and then send them to Jira or Slack, the tool that you already use today autonomously without waiting for the person to start investigating. And it brings all the FinOps data you need, such as cost and usage data from Cost Explorer, the optimization data from the Computer Optimizer, Cost Optimization Hub, all in one place effortlessly. So you don't have to configure the data in different dashboard, go to different places to accessing those data. So we are very excited to be here to demo the product and answer any questions.
Yeah, and this is so exciting, folks. If like, obviously, I feel like we've got a lot of people on today watching, which is amazing because I know everyone's hungry to get involved in this. The thing we'll say at the top is this is a brand new feature. Like it came out, what day is it? Like just a week ago. So if you have feedback or things that you want to suggest for like future developments or when it goes GA, I'm going to keep bringing this up, but we have our email address, costoptimization@amazon.com. Feel free to shoot us an email with any of that information and we can pass this on to the rest of the team and get that into a feature, for, like Jason mentioned. But if you want to see any written forms of it, you can go to the CFM blogs, and I think we just posted that link. But there's a whole blog kind of diving into this stuff, so you can read that. So make sure you check that out as well. But one question I've had from people already, Jason, is obviously we've got the FinOps agent, but how is this different from things like Q in the console or the billing cost management MCP? What's the difference?
Yeah, sure. I'm also the product manager for that two product as well. So yeah, so definitely we want to deliver the best experience to our practitioners in all different flavors. So they those three products together serving a AI product that we offered in the public serve different flavors to solve different use cases. For example, the FinOps capabilities in the Amazon Q developers allow the people who have access to the AWS Billing and Cost Management console to answer to get answers fast by natural language, just prompting in the Q developer side panel. And the Building and Cost Management MCP server is the open source we launched last year, so the people can leverage the MCP server that we built officially for people to plug into their own agent or their own AI assistant. Although the differentiation that we offered in this new AWS FinOps agent that we just launched is a managed agent, and it does
Mhm.
all the authentication and the permission controls on behalf of you, so you don't have to do a separate permission setup for example, the agent that you build your own with the BCM for the Build and Cost Manager MCP server. And the other thing is the main differentiation is the autonomous task execution. For FinOps
Mhm.
agent, you can create asynchronous tasks that can run in the background even when no one logs in, versus the Q developer experience in our console that you will need to log in and ask questions on demand. And in addition, the FinOps agent allows you to upload your context files of your organization structures, account to cost center mappings, which we will be demoing later as well.
Yeah, that like Jason said, I think the autonomous side and the context is so important. Yes, Amazon Q and billing cost management has the context of your account, but adding in business context, application context can add some more features to this. And we've had some questions, also some other shout outs. We got people from Vienna. I love this. From India. So cool. Keep any questions, comments coming in through the chat. That's what we're here for. Or if you're watching on demand, drop a comment on YouTube below. So question out the gate, simple. How much does it cost?
Yeah, so we launched the product in public preview. So during the preview, the product is actually free with the usage quota. And so, Steph, maybe you can drop the link for the quota page for the people to view
Mhm.
that. And definitely let us know the feedbacks during the preview version and enjoy it for free.
Perfect. And someone's also kind of a follow-up question. Looking forward to the demo, so we. Do you know the pricing model for Goes GA? We do not have this information at the moment, so kind of keep an eye on it. What we would say is I always encourage people who try things in preview to make sure you're kind of controlling that usage so that when it does swap to a paid version, you're not suddenly got a bit of bill shock. So try these things out, keep control. And then when it comes to that time of setting out the price, then you can make a decision on how much you want to utilize it. Another question. Is there any AI FinOps features planned, like token spend per model per account for this? I'm going to say at the moment, we're still looking into our future of like optimizing. Is that right, Jason?
Yeah, definitely tell us if this is something you are looking for. Then we can plan
Yeah.
for it. Yeah.
Email. I'm telling you all, guys, I'm ready for my inbox to be spammed with all of your requests for this. Please do. Victor's here. Hello. And here is the quotas that Jason's mentioned. But brilliant questions, guys. So some other context I wanted to check. You kind of already alluded to this, but who is the FinOps agent for? What persona?
Yeah, as mentioned, the FinOps challenge today is usually a shared responsibility between finance, FinOps team, and engineers. The FinOps agent is really for everyone. For the today's FinOps environment, often engineer team come to the FinOps teams to ask different cost inquiry. What was my cost went up? Why my cost went up last month? Can you help me to break down my cost by region? And those inquiries often goes to the FinOps team and take away their precious time for strategic decision makers like chargeback, showback, and purchase strategies. So the FinOps agent can help FinOps team to offload that work to the agent for engineer teams to use directly to query the questions, and so they can understand their cost directly. And the FinOps agent is also can be used for that FinOps team directly to understand their cost anomalies to collaborate with the engineer team better. When they come to the engineer team, they already have the investigations done with the root causes and that correlate with the CloudTrail to identify which IAM principal who used the what. So in the end of the day, we build this FinOps agent is really suited for the personas that whoever that cares about the FinOps, care about the cost management.
Excellent. So I think the crowd is getting ready for some demo stuff. So I'll skip some of my questions till the end. I'm just going to cover some of these things in the chat first. Will this recording of the live stream be available after? Yes, it will. The URL that you are watching on, and this goes to everyone watching on YouTube, that link will last indefinitely. So make sure you go on there. Otherwise, if you want to follow any of our past episodes and where we will add this to, if you go over to the Keys to AWS Optimizations channel, we have a playlist of all the past episodes. So you can go on there and find that. We got Marcus from Vodacom. Looking forward to the demo. Marcus, we're going to get into it. And shout out Vodacom. I used to work with that customer. Loved this. A question for you, Jason. Any plans to support cost estimations within the agent, including for AI agent workloads? So a kind of pricing calculator connection-esque?
Yeah, for that one, definitely send us the feature request, the email that Steph shared, and we build whatever is going to help our FinOps practitioners to do their job easier. And for today, you can actually ask in the FinOps agent about your existing bedrock cost and in aggregate by usage type and regions. Those cost questions can be answered already today.
And if anyone's on Twitch wanting to go over to the YouTube channel, you can see the link below. Thank you, William, for sharing. Perfect. Let's get on. Let's do this one question because these questions are getting good, Jason. I like good questions. Can I pass my virtual tagging metadata as a context file for the agent to tag generate a tag-based cost analysis?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
an
possible?
interesting one. Yeah, we do going to demo the capability of the context file where you can have a different grouping mechanism, for example, account to cost center mapping, right? The cost center data might not be in our environment, and you can upload that for the agent to aggregate in different hierarchy.
Okay, love it. And last one, we kind of covered this a little bit, but I'll just clarify. I'm already using Kiro CLI with the billing cost management MCP to do FinOps stuff. Sort of FinOps stuff. I wonder if this is different. The big difference, I would say, is this is already integrated into your account and is somewhere that you can go and create resources with it. So you're not just having a back and forth. There's also all the context we're going to talk about, all the also connections, direct integrations with things like Slack and Jira. I would say it's like a building upon, like it's a pre-made solution. So a lot of people have gone out there and built their own FinOps agents. You can look back at this show and me and Adam made our own FinOps agent. So it's just an elevated version so that you don't have to do that anymore. And so I would look at this to say, like, can you simplify a lot of your work by doing one that's already managed for you. All right, let's get into some demos. I'm excited for it. So Jason, why don't we talk about how to set up FinOps Agent first so everyone else can follow along? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Steph, if you don't mind, bring up the screen. So when you go to the AWS Management Console, you can simply just search FinOps Agent. It will pop up as the first option. And once, if if you never had an agent created before, it will direct you to the overall page, and you can simply just click Get Started. And in here,
Now,
you
do you
can.
want to zoom in a tiny bit for me, Jason?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect.
Would this look
Love
better?
it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool. So you can just follow the guided steps, which is pretty straightforward. It's probably going to take me 5 seconds to create the first agent if I don't need to speak, but let's just quickly walk through each of the steps. For the first step, you can just name your agent, let's say just test agent 123, and it's optional to put any description here. And then you can go to the next step. So the FinOps agent requires 2 IAM roles, and step 2 creates the first IAM role automatically for you. Basically, you give the agent IAM access to your AWS resources, such as a cost explorer, CloudTrail for cost anomaly detections, compute optimizer, cost optimization hub. You control what the agent can access. If you do not want the agent to access some of the resources, you can actually use an existing role and create the permissions that you want the agent to access that scope to those resources. And we have the full user guide include the what I'm roles, what I'm actions that are required for the agent to operate. And you can decide if you want to remove any of the IAM actions. But our recommendation is keeping all the IAM actions there to make sure the agent can perform end-to-end operations. In here, I can just ask the agent to ask the to auto create the agent role. And the second role, what we need, so once you give the agent access to your AWS resource like Cost Explorer, you want to operate the agent. So how the agent is operated is via a dedicated web application where you give the web application access to the agent to, for example, creating a task, creating a turn, creating a conversation, creating artifacts. So those operations are what we categorize in the operator role. And again, you can automatically create this role by just click the next button. And we did include the IAM policy that required to set up the 2 roles. So you just need to attach in the user guide the policy 1. So you can create this, you can follow along this step-by-step guide to create your first agent. So after step 3 is the optional 3 third-party integrations. So we put this as optional because we during the customer interviews we noticed often the time the Jira and the Slack admins are different different teams who might not even have access to the AWS console. Therefore, we took this out as an optional configuration in the setup wizard, so the people can go back to the agent and configuring those integration and connections. For in this demo account, I already integrated both Jira and Slack, and we can just click next. But it is totally okay if you don't have the admin access for both, and you can just click next. Then you can just review and create your first agent.
And there we go.
Yeah.
Love it. We'll be using one that's already made. And just to throw this up on the chat while it's loading, if you want to look at the IAM or the user guide, this is the link to it. I already had some questions, people asking like, what are the permissions it needs? Am I allowed to do this in the main account, in the player account? And so it's a very simple access. But like Jason said, that you could just use the default one, but if you want to see what's under the hood, if you need to speak to your security teams or like central CloudOps teams and get kind of an approval for this, this has all of the details.
Yep. Yeah, after the agent is created, will show up in here. So each agent is a logical container that isolate to each other. So all the conversation, task management, artifacts, they do not share across each of the agent that you created. So which means if you want to have multiple agents that are assigned to different teams, you can do that and they don't share anything. Except the integration for Jira and Slack that you integrate to one place, but you can set up different channel connections.
Question on that. Can you when you connect to Jira, actually, let's do it in the Jira section. I'll ask that question. I have, let me just pause for a minute because we have a ton of questions and I want to make sure we get to this. Any indirect costs we need to be aware of, such as interregional costs? At the moment, it's in preview, so there's no kind of cost questions, but I think come back to us when we have that in GA. Can a FinOps agent be deployed into linked accounts, or do we need to do it in just to the management account? It could be both, right? You could do it in all your accounts.
It's in all the accounts available today. Available last week, and you can search for AWS FinOps Agent, and you can create in either link account or the management account. The benefit of creating an agent in the management account is be able to access to your cost and usage data and cost optimization hub data across the global. So across world associated link account. The same for the cost anomaly detections that you can use your management account to detect the anomalies across all the link account and also be able to correlate with the CloudTrail data.
My light just died, and that's why I've plunged into some darkness. Excellent. Okay. Loads and loads of questions. What else have we got? Okay. This is, so there's been some questions about errors received in it. So for example, I'll just bring up the example. When I delete files, context says it's indefinite. Oh my goodness, I can't even read. Indefinitely visible available with the delete state. Should I expect the files to be deleted like a month later? Never. What happens when you delete a file?
Yeah, we thought about that experience in the chat. When if you delete the file is actually called, we call in the user guide like soft delete. So the context file will not be considered by the agent, although you can restore that contact file in the future if you want to. And we put a lot of consideration, heard feedback from the customer. They have compliance requirement. The file needs to be stored even they delete it. So definitely send us a feedback if that's something everyone wants to see, the hard deletions that no longer showed up.
Yeah, because they were also asking, can we ever delete artifact? Guys, this is great feedback. And I know it sounds, we're not trying to like palm you off. We literally need all the feedback. So drop it into an email to me and we'll get that, or speak to your account teams. Okay, what else have we got? Do we get to select the LLM model for the agent, or is it predefined? That's a good question.
Yeah, so so this is the agent that we have our predefined LL models based on the evaluation system that we built. So every change that we make to the agent has to go through a systematic evaluation system that making sure the agent performance does not degrade. And we select the LLM based on the performance of the evaluations. So this can be changed when there's a more better models can produce a better evaluation result. And neural model does not always represent the better performance of the FinOps questions that we have put in the agent systems. So this is something we evaluate and making sure we bring the best experience to the customers.
Excellent. Okay. I'm going to do two more questions. This isn't a question. Hey, Jason, Steph. Hello. Love to see it. This is just a flag. GitHub integration would be wonderful too. I'm assuming this is for context. Is there GitHub integration at the moment?
Not at the moment. Send us the feature request for sure.
Because I know DevOps Agent has, I think DevOps Agent has it. So yeah, would love to see that again. Share that. Can you use infrastructure as code to create the agent?
Not at the moment. So this is something definitely we heard often from the customers.
Yeah. And last one, does the FinOps agent get data from Compute Optimizer? Yes, it does. That's an easy one, right?
Yep.
That is correct. All right. I will keep an eye on some of these other questions, guys, and we will bring them up after our next section of the demo. So let's get into using it. Like, let's start. So how do we get into it? Let's start with like some simple stuff that we can use this for.
Yeah, sure. So once you set up an agent, like the first one we created, and this one as we demoed that we skip the Jira integration. Actually, I have the previously created FinOps agent with the Jira and the Slack integration. You can just simply just click the open button here, or you click the open button here that you can select which agent that you want to go. And in here, I'm going to the FinOps agent demo account. So do you guys see the screen okay, or do I need to zoom in a bit?
Or maybe just one zoom in.
Okay, sure.
The fun game of live demoing zooming. Perfect. Yeah, I
Cool.
think that's okay.
So this is the 125 scale, I think. So so the FinOps agent is the UI is actually very similar to other agent experience. So make sure that we don't introduce frictions for people to learn a brand new chatting interface experience. So the first thing, like we usually the people start with the FinOps agent is to upload their context files so the agent is aware their organization context that we mentioned, the accounts to cost center, to the department, and the account ownership name mapping, and those information might not sitting in the AWS environment. So in the left navbar, you can go to the context files where I have this accounts ownership map CSV file uploaded, and you can upload in other data formats such as the Markdown files, the YAML files, the CSV files, and those are all disclosed in the user guide with a 10 megabytes per file um, uh, limit, and which is a lot of data in 10 megabytes text files. And just quickly show you what has been showing stored in that context file. As you can see, there's account number, account names, and team name, owners, cost centers, and those are often not in the AWS environment that you can ask the agent to correlate those data. And yeah, so after you have your contact file uploaded, often the time, we gave some of the pre-defined prompt that you can start with, or simply yeah. So
Sneezed. Sorry.
one of the challenges we heard from the customers as a small FinOps team that they often receive tons of questions from the engineers. Let me just have a very first question pumped in, like what our usual engineer team would ask the FinOps team for. So what was my cost in May 2026? Since we are in June, the May financial has closed. Let me just understand what the cost has happened in the May and what has drove the changes by service compared to April.
Excellent.
And you can actually, if you, Mhm.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, if you don't need to use the context file panel, you can just click this button to focus on the chatting experience, and and during the chatting experience, you can see what the thinking process. We bring the full transparency on what tools, what the API has called on behalf in the
Mm.
agent, and full transparency there, so people get confident to see which each steps, how the responses look like for each of the response. And for this question, the agent actually query the cost explorer APIs to do the calculation there, aggregate data to meet our needs.
Question on the accessing the Cost Explorer API. Does that, because Cost Explorer API incurs cost, if it's doing it through the agent, does it incur cost still?
I need to double check that and update in
Cool.
the user guide if it's not included.
Perfect. All right. While that's running, someone's asked a question: can AWS access the uploaded context files? I mean, the same way I would assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, that AWS cannot access your files in terms of reading them and stuff like that, the same that it would be in S3, but the agent will access it in the way that it's dedicated to. So it's within your agent, but not like we can't read it. Correct?
Yeah, the agent is a managed agent system that owned in the AWS infrastructure, and there's a AWS organization which is disclosed in the user guide. You can opt in and or opt out to AWS not able to store or access to any of your files. And once you opt out, which requires AWS organization setup, and we cannot access to those data, even the prompt that you put in the agent. But the downside for that setup is when there's any issues or troubleshooting, and there's no way for us to understand or see directly to what has been uploaded
Mm.
or what the issue is that. Yep.
Yeah, make sure I'll add this back up here. So make sure you really digest the user guide setup in this link.
Yep.
Excellent. So we've got some spend info. Perfect.
Yeah, that's great. So yeah, we got the response from the agent. As you can expand the thinking process again, you can see what has happened in the background. Like cost explorer API got called, and what the response for each of the API. Full transparency there that you can deep dive how the answer was coming, where is it coming out from, and it's specified if this is unblended cost, if it's amortized cost, which you can also specify in the prompt if you want to have more concrete cost aggregations there. By default, we use unblended cost, and it shows your exact matches to our prompt is what was the May cost and what drove the changes versus the April, and it shows up the drivers for each of the servers and the usage types and the change by the dollar amount. And the most important is the key takeaways. So it shows the DynamoDB and the Elastic cache spike are notable. Both showed 14x usage increase, and those are exact answers that FinOps team needs to spend time to deep dive, look up cost explore, consolidate the data, do the pivot tables, and answer the engineer teams. Now, engineer team can just go to this FinOps agent and ask the questions directly.
Yeah, I love that. Pivot tables. Oh, nightmares and of pivot tables and creating them. But yeah, it always solved through doing this. And like Jason said, it's now super fast. You can get this data. It's been validated into your cost data and tells you, because you saw the mapping, you could see where this came from. We had a question that's kind of answered by what you shared on screen, which was, does the agent have access to savings plan recommendations? For example, can we use it to model savings plans, taking into account with requirements for different standard recommendations? But because it has access to all of the stuff with billing cost management, it does, right, Jason? You can see all the savings plans.
If it's this in the cost optimization hub, it's definitely serving out the export from there. And although the agent today is not integrated with the purchase analyzer yet, which is something we are work in progress.
Also, I can see there's some questions about Bedrock development with things like metadata. This is just a flag. This is not built. This isn't a Bedrock application people have built. This is something different. But for that person who is asking questions, if you have any Bedrock questions you want some help with, email costoptimization@amazon.com, and then I can help. Where was I? Another question is, can the FinOps agent connect to QuickSight datasets? Now, I'm going to jump in, for example, Kudos. Kudos is built upon the Kerr data, which is also Cost Explorer data. So in a roundabout way, yes. But at the moment, Jason, there's no way to connect it to QuickSight, right?
Yeah, and not via this agent, but agent do have capability to create a fancy HTML report in PowerPoint, PDF, HTML, which I can actually quickly show you how it looks like. There's some artifacts that generated previously, and you can see, and this is ask the agent to generate, and you can actually do the filtering within the agent itself directly. And you can also download this the HTML file and to share to different people. And you can also generate in PDF and PowerPoint if you want to do a presentation.
Yeah, and a big thing with this, if you are looking for a way to query Kudos, especially if you have multi-org and you want to use that, try using Amazon Quick, which is in Quick Suite, where your QuickSight dashboards are, or Quick Desktop. That is a great way. You can connect to billing cost management, MCP, and Kudos data and start to look at that stuff. So if you're already like heavy Kudos user and you want to ask AI questions, especially the main reason I would say using that is multi-org, and you've brought all that data consolidated together. So try using that instead of the FinOps agent.
Yeah, send us the feature request as well if there's something that you really need to meet your use case.
Yeah, for sure. I should.
We have a very close relationship with that team.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Okay. All right, let's keep going with the demo, and I'll bring up some other questions. Guys, great questions so far. Thank you so much, everyone who's asking all these wonderful questions. If we don't get to one of them and somehow we've missed it, after the session is ended on YouTube, you can comment below with your question and I'll come back to it later. But let's move on. Let's keep building what we can see. So we've seen you do some prompts in here and the HTML report. Can you also generate a PowerPoint in here?
Yeah, we can. Before that, I think there was questions people have around the context file. where
Oh yeah.
we showed, and this is the contact file has been uploaded to the FinOps agent. As we can see different account mappings to different teams, where we can actually ask a follow-up question. So what did the data platform team, which is not stored in the AWS environment, contacts, and it's just for the FinOps agent to aware, then we can ask what's the data platform team spend in May, instead of just aggregating by the accounts, and which accounts is based on. Let me just pump that question in. Then the agent will correlate the cost explorer data that we have already answered above, and with the contact file that with this mapping table, so that the FinOps agent will be able to join the table, two tables, and answer the questions. As you can see, the first step, reading files, that
Interesting.
now you can see the data platform pop that we uploaded only in the contact files has been is used in answering the cost inquiry.
Awesome. I'm so conscious of time. We've got 25 minutes left, right? So I want to make sure that we want to speed through some stuff.
Sure.
So I want to jump straight into tasks. I want to see what tasks, what are tasks, what can we use them for, and stuff like that.
Sure. There's a 3 asynchronized tasks that we define in this agent. So the first is the on-demand task. So basically, if we say, as you guys see, the first question that we ask takes some time to generate, and you can actually just say create a task for to answer. And this will actually create an on-demand task that once this task is created, you don't have to wait in front of the agent. You can just ask the agent, and come back to the task management queue to check the result. And you can say, it will ask you to shall I create a task. The agent has this guardrail system and making sure human in the loop to approve the certain actions. And so now you see the agent just create a task, and where you can see the task has been created, the first task, and is a work in progress. And you can even see all the activities, right? We have the full transparency of how the task is executed and thought through. So after maybe you have a launch and come back and see all the tasks that requested should be have finished, and with all the results showing up there, including the artifacts that you generate. And the second is the recurrent task, which we categorize into automation. You can create automation tasks in here by just prompt your instruction here, or you can create automation tasks in the chat window directly. Just say creating a recurrent task or create automation to run every day, every Tuesday, send me a cost reporting, and the agent is be able to schedule that. Even you are not logged into the FinOps agent, you will still receiving those results, and you can even deliver those results to Jira tickets or to a Slack channels that you configured. And that's a second type of task, the recurrent task, which the bucket of automation. And the third one is the event trigger. For event trigger, we currently only supporting the cost anomaly events. So this is something not schedule based. It's whenever the cost anomaly is detected, it will run the cost anomaly detection skill and correlate with the CloudTrail data. And you can set up send it to a Slack channel or create a Jira ticket. And you can also apply rules, say, oh, just filter out anything below $100. So the agent be able to ignore the small charges that you don't want to spend the tickets or the Slack channel.
I was just thinking to myself how funny it is that, like, if I had this when I first started FinOps, like 8-9 years ago, it would just be like, oh, there's all this stuff, whereas like the graft is going to be missing from people, which have to learn all this stuff. But I love the automation. I think the Slack integration is a big thing. So if I would recommend people setting this up for their accounts, and like you said, if I was a kind of FinOps person, I would help my teams create that context of the accounts they own, and then maybe send that into their group Slack, and they can kind of see stuff, especially this cost anomaly. I know that we can send cost anomaly into Slack too, but here it could add some context as well, so it goes to the right team, so it might aggregate across a few different accounts. So super cool. But do you want to show the Slack integration, what that looks like?
Yeah, sure. So for integrated Slacks, you have to go back to the AWS console, and Slack integrations and both Slack and Jira integrations happen in the account level. You just need to do the all auth authentication once for the account, and you don't have to do the integration again. And once you have integrated in the account level, then it's the connections, right? So for integrations, like you can do either integration setup during the agent creation process that we showed, or the other
Mm-hmm.
way is you can go to the integration tab in here and you can click Jira or
Mm-hmm.
Slack, and that will you can follow along the setup procedures. For Slack, it's much simpler. And
Mm-hmm.
just a reminder here, you do have to turn off the multi-session, which you can click the tab in here
Ah.
and make sure you turned off multi-session before you set up your Slack and Jira. And you
Mm-hmm.
can just click next and click the all auth with Slack. It will direct to the Slack authentication page. And
Mm-hmm.
once you click the installed Slack there button there, it will be redirected back to complete the setup. Just
Mm-hmm.
remember, you do want to add the Slack channel, sorry, the app in the integration tab in the channel that you want the app to send the notification to. So once you finish an integration in the account level, you go to the agent, right? You want to tell the agent which Slack channel that you want to send a message to, where we call this as a connections, and where you can
Mm-hmm.
select as Slack. And for example, this one I have this Slack sandbox have integrated, and basically you just need to add a channel ID, where you can find in the Slack. If you click the detail page of the Slack channel, you will find the channel ID and full instruction in the user guide. And once you added the app in the Slack channel and you copy over the channel ID, it will show up the connection name, which is the for Slack is the channel name,
Mm-hmm.
and for Jira it will be the space key. That which means where the agent is allowed to send the information to.
So you can do it at the agent level for a specific project. So you're not doing it just for one for everyone. It's per agent has
Yeah,
sorry,
per
or like a
agent.
channel.
So you can have this agent connecting to two Slack channels, other agent connected to different Slack channels for different purposes.
Can you add, oh, so it's just to check, can you add multiple Slack channels to one agent?
You can add multiple Jira space key or multiple Slack channels. We are limited to two each connections, so each agent can only connect into two Slack channel and two agent space today. Definitely let us know if there's a more demand for that. Just be mindful that you cannot connect in to the same Slack channel to two different agents. That will cause confusions on which when the message is sent to two from two different agents, that is would be hard for the user to tell where it's coming from.
Which one?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, there's some questions, Vim, questions about Bedrock. Check out this video I've just put in here. That's going to help you some of the way. But again, if you have any questions, use our email address to get in touch, because I see a couple of questions coming through about it, and it's we're not going to cover it in today's session. Excellent. Okay, so what does it look like once we've integrated these things?
Yeah, so once you have integrated, let's circling back to the agent that we were just using. Basically, for Slack message, you can just there's a two ways you can leverage the Slack and Jira integrations. For the Slack message, as we have already the cost data in here. You can just say, hey, send the cost summary to my Slack channel. And let me just remember what the Slack channel I have set up here is called cost alert. So Slack channel cost alert, then you can just hit enter. And the other way you can leverage is in the automations. You can say every day, or even every hour, send me a Slack message with my cost summary. I did test out to ask the agent to send every single hour. It's actually did kind of expand my Slack channels
Ah,
Yeah, it has in here you have the guardrail to control how do you want to confirm this is a message you want to send to Slack. You can just say yes, and then it will just shoot to the Slack channel
nice.
that you set up. Um, for the automations, we do not want people go back and forth to the automation. Actually, I just see the pop up from the agent in my Slack. Sorry, it's not sharing the screen for that, but I do receive that message. In the automation, you don't have to approve again because automation what we consider is a pre-authorized approval. So if you have a Jira and a Slack integration and that you set up in the automation, that you don't
Mhm,
have to go back to this web application for the approval. It will
mhm.
automatically send to the Jira and the Slack without you going back to this console.
Yeah. And what about, you mentioned the event trigger with anomaly detection. So you can set the event to trigger to Slack as well. That's a straight through pipeline you can have, right?
Yeah, that's correct. You can just simply say, create a cost anomaly, listen to the cost anomaly events, and correlate with CloudTrail and send to my
Mhm.
Slack, and that will create
Perfect.
automations.
Excellent. There's also a question which is, I guess it still supports email alerts outside of Slack and Jira. Does it support any email connection?
Not yet. Definitely send us the feature request if that's something you are looking forward to it.
For sure, guys. Keep those things coming through. Another question is, could we trigger a prompt action from Slack back to the FinOps agent? So can you have a conversation with it through Slack or Jira?
Yeah, it is one way today. It's mainly for the people that who set up all the automation, they don't have to come back to the console. But
Mhm.
today's experience is mainly one way
Brilliant. Okay, good to know. But guys, like we said, this is a brand new feature.
in
So
preview.
keep that in preview. So stuff will be coming out. Okay, excellent. So we've showed the anomaly section stuff and Slack. Do you want to showcase maybe sending some cost optimization opportunities to Jira?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. So let me just do a quick prompt. Say, hey, do we have any idle instances? What are procedure if I want to delete them? So
Hmm.
that will trigger the agent to look up cost optimization hub, compute optimizer to look up to see if we have any of RDS idle instances. I know
Hmm.
for sure we had one a couple weeks ago when I tested the agent. I wasn't sure if that's deleted. Hopefully it's still there so we can see the result there.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
One bad thing
Awesome.
of the FinOps agent
Yeah.
is we in the whole agent design phase we integrated all the good best practice FinOps operations like the best tips in this agent. So you can just ask all the answers and even cost inquiry to understand how to optimize your cost better.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
yeah, it seems like still there. That's great. Which we do need to take action to remove it. And
Okay.
yeah, it's again you can look up the all the steps has been taken to identify this idle RDS instance, and it give you the delete procedures, and even include the CLI procedure to delete that. And actually actually, this is also give you a key considerations, which is a lot of
Hmm.
people might miss, is AWS support can only recover the unintentional delete instance for up to 6 days after deletion. Just make sure that you also read all the consideration, which is based on all the experience that we ingested in the agent itself. And yeah, after here, you can actually, just say summarize this finding into, sorry, that's why I don't like live code live typing. The
I'm
typo
typing.
can happen.
It's okay. It can handle typos. It's all good.
Yeah, so we can just say summarize this finding into a Jira tickets and send to Jira project ENG, which we have integrated with,
Hmm.
and the agent will first look up which of the Jira connections that you have connected to, if that matches to the project key that you are putting in here. I can it's give
Hmm.
you the ENG, which is the project key, and the description and of the findings, which is the RDS database. And it will ask to create a Jira ticket. Now it's finally calling the Jira ticket tool, and with this nice card with the exact summary that how it's going to send to, and you can approve that. Again, if this is set up in the automation, you don't have to do
Mm-hmm.
those approvals manually. The agent is be
Right.
able to create that, and you can see it's now created and it's sent to the
Hey.
agent, sent to Jira. And let me remove that because this is the trial account. And in here, you can ask the agent actually continues in the agent updating the comments, read the Jira tickets, and to see
Cool.
what has been updated there. So you don't have to come to the Jira if you just always operating in the FinOps agent. You can just
Mm-hmm.
ask the what has been updated in the Jira ticket there.
So it kind of can go and read what's in the Jira ticket that's
Correct,
connected
or
to.
put
Ah.
comments in the same tickets that you don't have
Oh, I
to.
love that. That continuous updating is very handy.
Yeah.
Awesome. We're almost at time. Anything else you want to show people in here before we run through some last questions?
Yeah, I do want to show the cost anomaly detection, and this is kind of like one of the prompt that I prompted in a while back.
Mhm.
This is a lot of effort we put in, be able to allow the agent to find the anomalies, and this is kind of event trigger and to correlate with CloudTrails, and even a tiny cost like 4 cents can be captured, and it correlates with the IAM principles which I am user that trigger this cost at what time, exact source IP, give you all the details for your engineer team to take action on. And again, this anomalies can be set in the automation that you send to your Slack channel or create a Jira ticket automatically and with
Mhm.
all the investigation details that you have already done. And again, if you don't care about a 1 cent or 4 cents cost, you can ask the agent to filter the cost by certain amount of dollars that you don't want the anomaly to trigger the message sent to Slack. So
Mhm.
highly recommend the people to leverage this feature and set up automations once you get your hands on the FinOps agent.
Excellent. Oh my goodness. There is so much to go play with, folks, and I hope we've inspired you to go have a look, set one up, play with it. Like we said, at the moment it's in preview, so new features are going to tell us them in that email address to kind of share more, for us to kind of build more. Roma's not in a day, but hopefully we're going to iterate on this agent based on what you guys want. That's the big thing with Amazon. We want to hear what your feedback is so we can build it. So don't think that those feedbacks aren't going on deaf ears because they are coming to me. Right, we have some questions I want to go through. Okay. Can we ingest other cost data in focus format into this agent?
I love that question because I used to be the Focus PM, launched Focus 1.2 last year. Really proud of that. That to see there are people asking for that need. Send us the future request for that. And we do have the same exact data in the Cost Explorer, and you can ask the questions for your cost and usage data in the same matter of the focus. They all present in the same cost and use data under the hood.
Brilliant. Let's do we do have all contacts populated and tags in the org accounts. Could the tag info be used if you have enabled those? If it's in the account and it's in it, because account level tags and the organization tags are now in Cost Explorer, right? Can I imagine this?
I have to double check if the
I
data,
think
if the
so.
tag, yeah, if the tag and the cost category. I do know like a resource tag, cost category tags, those are all in the cost floor that you can ask the agent to aggregate by those tags.
Cool. All right, check it out. I think that's going to be correct. So just whatever you can see Cost Explorer, you can see in there. Can you connect to S3 for context?
Not yet.
No, yeah. Okay, feature coming. Well, hopefully eventually. Can we set the context to include some specific charge types in calculations? So could you set that in a context file?
Yeah, actually, I did try that as well. Like say, oh, ignore my my organization is Graphton heavy, so do not send any recommendations for Graphtons. And you can leverage those contact file as a rule base to tell the agent. So basically,
Mm.
you can consider this contact file as an additional layer of the prompt instruction to the agent.
Nice. So if you're suggesting people, what would be I'd recommend doing is start centrally developing a context file that's going to be reused across your, or like a base that you could put on the agents. So also, again, we're in preview. I know as soon as I heard about this stuff when I was reviewing this, when Jason was, before it was reviews, I was like, hey, what can we do API? Like, how do I do this? And he's like, not yet. You know, this is in preview. It's the first version. But think big, right? Think about what the future is going to be. Having a reusable context file with maybe your team's information that say, hey, ignore support charges because that's not going to be relevant. Ignore savings plan stuff, because what we don't want to do is maybe you want to make sure that they have a unified view in all the agents they have in their accounts. So start to think about how you would scale this up and start to have a maybe like central file that you guys iterate on that you can share out as you grow. Other one, does the agent need to be deployed in linked accounts as well to extract resource utilization, or do we query the management account? So at the moment, the management account, as long as you have enabled things like cost optimization hub in your linked accounts and you've enabled all that access, if you can see it in the management account, then you can see it in the agent. But you do need to enable Compute Optimizer at the organization level. Is that right, Jason?
Yeah, we did put the required associated service that you have to opt in for Compute Optimizer, which is good that you can just click the opt-in button to enable that. The same for the cost anomaly detection. You will need to create a cost monitoring in the management account first. So those are all in the user guide, setup page. Definitely follow along those enablement before your agent interaction.
Yeah, so definitely it's the same data under the hood as all the other cost tools that we've developed, guys. So just make sure that if you've enabled it centrally and you've enabled it at the org level so that the linked accounts can get it, then it will come through. A bit different. What monitoring and reporting tools available for token consumption? This is not to do with the agent we're talking about, but if you go to CloudWatch and go to dashboards and automatic dashboards and then Bedrock, there is a dashboard there that you will see all of this information that you need by default. So go and check that out. Can one agent spam multiple payer accounts as long as the role switches? Not yet, but as you know, that's right, Jason, not yet, but feature request.
Yeah, definitely send us away. You can create agent in different org payer account today.
And William says, it sounds like we need to connect to the data collector account of Kudos. So remember, it can only access the data in your account. It's not accessing things like Athena. So if you're using the data collector application, you're welcome. I built that. But it can't access that data. So it's only what is in the account it's in. For example, in the payer account, you can see the collective organization. So the thing about the Kudos data, it's taken from the Cost Explorer data is the same as Kudos data. So it's exactly the same data you're going to see. It's just putting into Quick. So there's just different places to access the data. But do not focus on trying to get Kudos data into the agent, because the agent already has access to the same data. Whew, so many questions. Any other ones that I can quickly add? We've been utilizing Quick for storing context. Love that. Can the FinOps agent sync to Quick and reference our context prompts? No, not at the moment, but I would recommend getting an export and then adding it into the context of your agent if you have good context files. At the moment, I'm going to keep saying this, it's preview, there's no AI API access to it. Maybe in the future we'll be able to develop this relationship, but at the moment, keep that feedback coming in through our email address. I've just gone through loads of questions very quickly. Hopefully no one is like, what has she said? Always go back, watch it at William has summarized it. Just send feature requests. William, that's exactly what I want everyone to do from watching this episode. And that is it from us. We have covered so much today. Jason, thank you so much. Just a couple of last minute closes. If you want to see summaries of all the episodes that I do on this show and any others, and fun articles like my article, The Hidden Cost of Hay, which is going to be picked up by Wired, crazy. Make sure that you scan this QR code to follow me on Builder Center, a great location to learn about lots of different topics and read articles and write your own. Also, join the Customer Acceleration Team LinkedIn group. This is where you'll be able to find upcoming episodes, blogs, and lots of interesting resources from my team. For all of the announcements, go to the Cloud Financial Management blogs location. Just Google CFM blogs, and you'll see all of the amazing announcements from the last couple of weeks. And finally, go on over to, where's my channel? I've gone too far. The Keys AWS Optimization YouTube channel. This is a place where if you want to see any past episodes, go over to our playlists and you can see both shows that I run for AWS, How to Build and Keys. Whew! And with that, we've got to finish the show. Thank you so much, Jason, for joining us. Thank you so much, everyone else. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.